Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah al-Kareem. Alhamdulillah, and welcome back to another episode of Life's Adornments, where we are discussing child rearing, its virtues, its benefits, its many ups and downs, and most importantly, how do we return this crucial endeavor, this affair, back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We know that one of the most crucial matters that parents are concerned with is child rearing, and we're talking about the issue of akhlaq. As the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمُ الْأَخْلَاقِ, that I have not been sent except to perfect, to complete good moral characteristics. So in this way, we would like to return this matter of akhlaq in raising children back to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. How do we raise our children in a way that is according to the akhlaq of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? To help with this endeavor, we have Sheikh Assim al Hakeem, who is a teacher at Zad Academy and KIU, and has been a teacher and an imam for over 30 years. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, let's get into this matter of akhlaq, ya Sheikh. We know that many times you find youngsters, and the worst is to find a child with bad manners. It's something that's very difficult to see in someone's child. And likewise, if you see a person's child with good manners, you make dua for the parents. You're pleased to see this. So it's crucial. So how do we raise children in a way that have moral compasses that are in line with the Quran and the Sunnah?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah. Amma ba'du. Tarbiyah, or upbringing the children, is not an easy task. And everything you do is governed by Allah's will. So you do your level best, and you don't know what Allah has willed for you. So you cannot sit back and relax and say, whatever Allah wills will happen. You have to take the necessary means and measures so that your child would be classified and labeled as a person with good moral conduct, with good ethics, and with a good character. It brings great joy to any of us to be complimented that, MashaAllah, your child is a well-raised child, he's good-mannered. But we have to be careful how to classify our children of being good-mannered or not. Because nowadays we get so many people affected by the media, thinking that the Western type of culture, moral conduct, ethics, is what should be sought after and followed.
How so?
See, we believe whenever you come to a door, you should open the door and say, women's first. But if she's not a mahram, and you are about to enter a place and there's a woman who's about to enter it, you should go first, rather than allow her to go and you're looking and not lowering your gaze and maybe courteously smiling back to her. What is this? Take her number and take her for dinner. Maybe that would complete the whole circle. So what is considered to be part of etiquette in the West cannot be part of Islam, because we have boundaries. So what governs our movement and reactions is Islam, not what people consider to be rude or ungentlemanlike. This is why we have to bring up our children to be people with good moral conduct. And this cannot be unless they have role models. When your son hears you say every time you thank someone, Jazakallahu khairan, he will also adopt this. Yesterday I was in my hotel room, in the restaurant, and the grand chef, breakfast time, came and saw me. So I asked him a question. A random question. I don't know. He's not a waiter. So he did something and he showed me to do something with the food. Out of habit, I said to him, غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَكَ وَرَحِمَ وَالِدَيْكَ. May Allah forgive you and have mercy on your soul, and on your parents' soul. The guy almost broke into tears. He said, Allah, how beautiful your words are. I took a step back and said, what did I say? This is what I usually say to people. Whoever does me good or does me a favor, I pray for him and for his parents. This is how I was brought up. So I went on and increased it a level. So I said, may Allah bless your health, wealth, and guide your children and grant you a good life.
Amen.
And the guy was totally,
He's finished.
khalas. Yeah, he got me hooked, man. And he took his business card and said, please, I beg you, anything to do for you. I want to help you. I want to serve you. I said, well, I didn't do anything. He said, I've never heard such beautiful words. May Allah Azza wa Jal make all the people like you. I said, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Then we would have a catastrophe in this world. So, good words have a magical impact on people. If we manage to teach our children this, they will grow up to be miracles walking on earth. The famous story, a man with his child were hitchhiking, hiking in the mountainous area, and the child tripped. So he cursed, damn. So he heard the echoing saying, damn. So he was agitated. He said, who are you? And he heard, who are you? He said, you're a fool. And he heard that back, you're a fool. And he started, getting really agitated. So his father smiled and said, son, why don't you say good words and hear what happens? So the child said, you're a good boy. And he heard in reply, you're a good boy. Thank you very much. And he said, thank you very much. The essence of the story is that this is a story. But our children do learn from this. When they come to you complaining that a neighbor's son or a sibling took their toy, and you tell them, it's okay, it's a toy, give them another one. And they're shocked of this reply, and they do try and give another one, and they find that the other child is reciprocating and giving them one of his, then they learn how to forgive, how to pardon, and how to share things with others. Such characteristics, such ethics, when you try to put them in your child at an early age, have magnificent impact when they grow up.
Yeah, certainly. There's even a story about a young boy that was instructed, given a group of students, they were all given an item and instructed to hide the item in a place where nobody can find this item. And all the children went out and they hid it, in the grass or in the mountain, in the hills, and different places. And there was one of the students who never came back. So the teacher went and looked out for him and finally found him. And he said, what happened to you? Everybody returned except you. And he said, I couldn't find a place to hide it where Allah didn't know where it was.
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. So I would like to firstly begin with having adab and having ikhlas with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Of course, this is something that we have to teach our children to have. How to have adab with Allah in prayer by not moving and looking sideways when in prayer. How to have adab with Allah when asking and begging Allah Azza wa Jal while doing dua. How to praise Allah Azza wa Jal. How to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How to refrain from praising Him when we are answering the call of nature or when we are in an inappropriate thing. How to attribute everything to Allah. It's part of adab, good moral conduct, to attribute everything we do to Allah Azza wa Jal's power. So so many times this is a breach of tawheed when we hear a CEO or a CFO explaining on the charts, PowerPoint, saying that I managed in the first quarter to exceed the target by 67%. And I opened a number of projects and they were successful. I managed to generate so much profit to the company, and attributing everything to himself. This is disrespecting Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, his intention was not disrespectful, but this is how it sounded. We should attribute everything to Allah Azza wa Jal, and this is part of our moral conduct and appreciation to Allah, because He, the Almighty, is the actual doer, and we could not have done anything without His guidance and assistance.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Even having good manners and morals with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it teaches you from a very young age. You know, like we talked about Tawheed. I remember being very young, and even outside of our parents, we would see students in school, like young girls, we went to like Islamic school, madrasa, and going to school, they would have hijab on and things of this nature. But as soon as the bell rang and they were coming out, the hijabs went flying, the kufi went flying, the jalabiyah came off, because no one was around to supervise us on the way between the school and home. But there were some students that say, whether my parents or teachers are watching me or not, Allah always sees me.
MashaAllah.
You know, so this is like the adab and tarbiyah. Some of the students had at a very young age. So
unfortunately, this is the problem with a lot of the Muslims. We see this when we find that our born Muslim women, when they are in their country, they're abiding by the hijab. The moment they board a plane, even before taxiing, even before taking off, then the hijab is gone, the Western clothes appear, the makeup. Then the biggest problem is that they are with their parents, with their husbands, sitting next to them. These are, what is this? Can't you see that this is haram? Don't you have any jealousy? The problem is that they were not brought up to believe. They grew up to just follow the herd. So whenever the pack is doing, whatever the posse is doing and going, we will follow. They go to hell, we go to hell. Who cares? We don't believe, we don't have the conviction. This is one of the shortcomings of upbringing your children on other than Islam. We upbring our children on taboo. So whenever a child wants to do this, aib in Arabic,
yeah, sure.
Meaning that, no, this is taboo, this is inappropriate. What will people say? Okay, if I go to Europe, no one knows me, so who cares but what people say, because they won't say anything. So we believe that it is the borders of our country, it is the culture we live in that corrects and falsifies whatever we do. So is it right or wrong? This is not determined by the Quran and the Sunnah. The religion has nothing to do with this. It's only salah and fasting. This is religion. But what I wear, what I believe, how I behave, this is governed by the community, by the society, by the norm of the people I live among. If I go abroad, nobody cares. And this shows you that the vast majority of us are Muslims through an identity card, not through conviction. And this is why when reverts accept Islam, their Islam is stronger than ours, because they've transformed their lives, shifted from darkness to the light with their own will. Unlike us who were born Muslim, and everybody is around us is Muslim, so okay, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But when I'm out of Rome, then definitely you will see breaches of your own Islam.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. That's a very crucial point, mashallah, in having adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're going to pause here for a short break, and we'll be right back to continue this discussion on adab. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and welcome back to our second segment of Life's Adornments, where we're discussing tarbiyah akhlaq. We're discussing how do we rear children in a way that they have a good manners and good moral conducts. And we left off talking about adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We would now like to talk about having adab with the parents, inshallah ta'ala. This is a very crucial point we find in the religion. Even in the Quran, you will find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will combine His tawheed, worshipping Him alone, with birrul walidayya, with being good and having good conduct and good adab with the parents. So I know this is a topic within itself that can take segments, but inshallah, let's try to begin.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to reverse it.
Yes.
Usually people talk about how we should bring our children up to treat the parents. Now we are in the phase of bringing up our children in an Islamic way. So it is us who's supposed to deal with our children in adab. So the right approach would be, yes, we should teach our children how to respect, be dutiful, obedient, and kind to their parents. But at an early age, this is not logical. When a child is 4 or 5 years of age and you expect him to say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and do the whole thing of respect. No, this is not, logical. What's logical is that the respect you give is the respect you'll get. So the parents must learn how to deal with their children in respect. They must respect their children's privacy. They must respect the children's integrity. They should not take their children for granted and just consider them as nothing or access baggage. No, these are your investment. As stated before, this is your capital. So it is how you deal with them and it is how you treat them that would reflect in their upbringing.
Yes.
We mentioned before the story of Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, when the Prophet ﷺ sent him on an errand and he told him that this is a secret. When Anas' mother saw him and asked him why he was late, and he told her that I was on a secret mission, and she said, what was that mission? When he said it was a secret, she respected that. And she gave her son a lesson by telling him, if it's a secret, do not tell a soul about it. And so did Anas. He never told anyone about this secret. This is empowerment. This is trusting your child and making him conceal such secrets so that he would not betray others. It is the parents' duty to take care of their children and to treat them with honesty. The Prophet ﷺ saw a woman telling her child, come, trying to drag her child so that she could put her hands on him. So come, I'll give you. The Prophet did not let this slip, ﷺ, because every incident there's a lesson. So he said, what are you going to give him? So she opened her hand and there was a date. And she said, O Prophet of Allah, I was going to give him this date. The Prophet said, ﷺ, had you not given him that date, it would have been registered as a lie. This is something that we as parents fail big time. If I'm going out and my child says, Daddy, take me with you. Says, no, I'm going to the doctor to take an injection. This is a double lie. So the child would grow up fearing doctors. And he would be terrified of injections because of my lie. Daddy, Uncle so-and-so wants to talk to you. Tell him I'm not here. Tell him I'm gone. I'm teaching the child how to lie.
Sure.
So where is the respect? This is what the parents are doing. When the mom is frustrated from her husband, and she's chit-chatting with her daughter who's young, said, "Ah, your ugly father is coming in an hour time. Your fat, big father is coming. He's this, he's that." The girl is going to grow up disrespecting her parents, whether the mother or the father, because this is what I've learned from my mother. So this is an important and a crucial part of upbringing the children and instilling in them akhlaq, moral conduct, ethics. Of course, it goes without saying that we have to teach our children how to respect us when they're young. So it's very beautiful to see the children coming, kissing their parents' hands and forehead whenever they come in or go out. This is beautiful. We have to do this. The Prophet used to do this with Fatima, his daughter, and he used to do that to her. So it's not only one-sided, it's both sides expressing respect and love. We have to teach our children not to answer back. So many times the mother fails big time when she allows her daughter or son to answer back. When I see this in my house, I'm frustrated. And I clearly make this obvious to the mother and telling her, it is your mistake to allow your children to speak to you this way. And later on, they're going to speak to me like this. And this is not something to be tolerated. You have to draw the line. Respect, obedience, being dutiful, not looking to the father and mother straight in the eye when they're angry, because this is the biggest sign that you are not happy. And this is the worst of all types of showing how undutiful you are to your parents, when you just look at them in a strange and strong way. So there are so many things that we have to work on, but again, without disturbing the scale. So not always bad things, negative things. Always we have to balance this with love, compassion, and encouragement.
Yeah, I really admire the approach that you have taken. Many times it's always a one-sided thing where respect your parents, respect your parents, respect your parents, but the opposite isn't true. I remember one time, I forgot, it was something that my father asked me for, and I said, "Oh, you know, this is mine," or something like this. And I said it in the presence of the Imam. He mentioned the narration or something where he said,
Anta wa maluk.
Anta wa maluk.
Dabik.
My father never forgot this hadith. This is his favorite hadith. Anytime he requests something of me, he say, "You and whatever you have belong to me." But you know,
again, this hadith, by the way, a lot of the people are confused.
Yeah.
So a lot of parents would just come and take everything that the son has, and this is wrong. The understanding of the hadith is that whatever is in access to what you need, and the father needs it, and he's not going to use it for the benefits of your siblings. Otherwise, if the hadith was understood like the Imam explained it to you and your father understood it, if you were to die, your father's inheritance would not be 1/6. He would have taken the whole thing. But no, he has a percentage simply because this is what Allah has given him. So the hadith is understood in this context. If your father is in need and you are a wealthy, well-off person, your father can take from your wealth whatever suffices him, providing that this does not harm you and your family. So he should not take from you what would make you short from giving your wife and kids. Two, he should not be well off himself. A lot of the millionaires still go to their children and take their money. You got enough. No, I'm not obliged to give you a penny because you're rich. Thirdly, that he should not utilize what he takes from you to spend over his siblings, because then you will become envious and you will hate your siblings like the brothers of Yusuf. Not your brothers, like the brothers of Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, hated him.
Yeah. I have 5 brothers, mashallah.
MashaAllah.
They're all good.
May Allah bless them all.
I mean, this is a very crucial point as well. I remember when I was younger and I used to go to places, My mother, alhamdulillah, she wasn't born and raised Muslim. She converted later.
MashaAllah.
So certain times in her tarbiyah, she would teach us things that wasn't necessarily from the Quran or the Sunnah by word, but in its application it would be. So she would always say, whenever you go to a place, the first thing you unpack is not your clothes, is your manners. So be mindful of your manners.
MashaAllah.
So I remember one time I traveled somewhere, and where I was staying, an item went missing. So they called my mother and said, well, you know, Yusuf is here and something went missing. We don't know if we're not accusing him of anything. And my mother right away, and I could hear her on the phone speaking. She said right away, she said, my son, he does many things. He has many mistakes that he makes. If you told me that he's messy, his clothes are all over the place, that's Yusuf. However, Yusuf, he does not steal. So whatever is missing, you're going to find it. And wallahi, until this day, decades later, I never forgot that. So because I heard her defending me in this way, it stuck in my mind, Yusuf doesn't steal.
MashaAllah.
You know, until this day, it's something that I've like invested in my mind. So
where did you hide the item?
it was in my pocket. I'm just joking. But alhamdulillah, sometimes your parents validating you, it goes a very long way.
Definitely. Encouragement. Ask the children at school. They will say, my 5th grade teacher, he said something that resonated with me until I finished my PhD. And you remember things, words of, for example, Imam al-Bukhari was in the class of Abu Ishaq ibn Rahoya or Rahaweh, depending on who is pronouncing it. And he said, if you guys were to compile something that connects the authentic hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he said this resonated with me until I came up with the idea of the Sahih al-Bukhari.
SubhanAllah.
And so many things, words that people hear when they're young that impacts them positively when they grow old.
Barakallahu feek, Sheikh. We're going to stop the segment here, inshallah ta'ala. As always, thank you for your immense knowledge and great wisdom.
Barakallahu
We
feekum.
benefit from you a lot. Until next time, inshallah ta'ala, thank you so much again.
Jazakumullah khair.
Viewers, thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you receive great benefit and merit from this. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us all to be better parents and raise our children well, and for us to be better children as well. Until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.